Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back. You know, Joe, for old time's
Joe,
sakes,
and Rob.
what we can do it on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's like
There
this
it goes
every
right
week.
there.
I'm the straight guy.
You know, we are having a great time, as
I'm
we always
curved.
do, and on a beautiful Saturday morning. And our next guest actually has a really neat story to tell, and more importantly, a couple of great stories to tell.
And
Number one,
most of it's true.
that is correct. Most of it's true. Exactly. I haven't caught a lie yet. But, you know,
names have been changed to
Number
protect the
one,
innocent.
you know, great individual, works for a great company, and is actually running for something within HAR. We're going to talk about all this stuff right now. So, Sarah, how you doing?
I'm
As
doing
long as she's not running
fantastic.
from something.
Yes.
That is correct. Well, she's always running from something, but, you know, that's a different story.
Yeah, and
I'm running from
and
the law.
Sarah has a last name. It's Jones, which
it is
obviously
Jones, that is
an
correct.
alias. So, and she's with
Yes.
Bamboo Realty,
Bamboo Realty.
and they're a kind of a unique firm. So let's kind of talk about your formula for your business.
Sure. So my husband and I started our company back in 2009, and we did so because we recognized there was a big gap in service for people who relocated to Houston and wanted to rent. A lot of people move here for jobs. They aren't convinced they're going to stay long term, so they make a decision to rent for 12 to 24 months. Once they realize how fantastic Houston is, they get sucked into buying. So over time, our business
No,
model
they choose to buy. They're not
has-
sucked into buying.
They're sucked into buying. They're sucked into staying in Houston. It's a big funnel. They love it here.
Every time I think I get out, it pulls me back in.
That's exactly right. The job market here, the culture, the food, you
was a
can't leave the
terrible
Tex-Mex. So
Al
our
Pacino.
business model over time has evolved from providing services exclusively for renters to also for first-time home buyers, largely millennials.
Wow.
And are you familiar with Rob Hahn?
Yes.
So I figured you might be. And he is kind of I don't know if you call him a futurist, but he talks a lot about it. And he talks about the rental generation a lot in his talks. And a lot of people are coming out of college pretty indebted. They're, having $100,000.
Pretty indebted, yes.
Yes.
That's
And
a
so,
description.
yeah,
It's
we
not
talk-
pretty, though.
Yeah.
They're just indebted.
Yeah. And see, now you made me lose my train of thought. But,
Massively indebted.
But what they're doing is they think they can't buy a house, or they're absolutely not in a position because they do have so much, student loan debt,
Right.
and they're renting. And Rob Hahn picked up on this and has spoken all around the country. He's usually at these big events and things like that as a speaker, and so that's probably what you were seeing too.
Yeah, so our experience is that when millennials don't necessarily have purchasing at top of mind when they get out of college. They do eventually buy, but it's usually a little bit later on. And so our average first-time home buyer is about 32 years old right now, where previously it might have been a little bit younger. So millennials will buy homes. They're starting to buy homes. The 2013 NAR survey suggested that 31% of home buyers were in the millennial age group, which is now the largest share. So finally, they're making this big splash in the housing market that we've all been waiting for.
Well, I've actually heard the term echo boomer.
Echo boomer, right.
It's because the millennials are the same size as the boomer generation.
Right.
And
And
so-
I would agree with you, by the way. I think that we're seeing a lot more first-time home buyers that are older, and I think a lot of that's also because, number one, what happened to us 5 years ago. The other thing is, I think, maturity. I think a lot of individuals, if you look at just the generational, right, people are getting married at a later age. They're buying homes at later
didn't
ages.
I
They're
think
having
about that?
children at later ages. Rob, you're a lost cause from that perspective. So, so there's a lot
Catch
of changes
and
going on.
release.
And
Hey, if-
within there, you at Bamboo
It's the first
actually
8 times you
started
don't
the
succeed.
company. Yeah. You started Bamboo, and you have a really neat business philosophy around Bamboo Realty. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're in it for the fun. We wanted to have a sandbox mentality, and that's the culture that agents get when they work here. And it really filters out to the people that do business with us. They come back time and time again. I find that people move 3 times every 10 years in my generation. So we're either going to rent to them 3 times or we're going to rent a couple times and sell them a house. And it's all about the fun. Great
Really?
client
Did you say
Three
relationship.
times in
sandbox
10
mentality?
years?
3 times in 10 years. The sandbox
That's
mentality.
about
so,
playing nice in the sandbox.
Yes. I didn't want to, I could have been an independent agent or worked for a broker on my own, but I didn't want to work by myself. I wanted to have a team of people that really prioritized fun, just like you fine gentlemen do. And that's
She
who
called
I
us fine
surrounded
gentlemen.
myself.
That she doesn't know us very
wow.
well.
I have this
Yeah.
tuxedo
obviously doesn't know
t-shirts
us.
on. Degenerates.
Okay.
Now the truth
she
comes
knows
out.
I resent that crack.
I resemble that comment.
Joe, you got to stop cracking up over there. And I would be remiss, by the way, we did not start off by saying this, is she is a special invite by OneGuard, one of our great sponsors.
Yeah, who was actually present today.
Who's actually present over here in the
Lee
corner.
Brockstein is hiding
We
in the
immediately
corner.
put her in the corner.
That is correct.
Well, because, yeah.
No one puts Lee in the corner.
Yes.
So we do appreciate you bringing her on. And, of course, I got a chance to meet Sarah the other night at an event, and we had a lot of laughs that night. It was funny.
And what event is that, by the way? There was she is running for something.
Yes, that's right. That event was for Sarah.
That
And
is
she's
correct.
running for director for the Houston Association of Realtors. So realtors out there listening, give a consideration of voting for Sarah.
Absolutely. And what brought you to want to run for one of the director positions of HAR?
Real estate is very local, and the ability of a realtor to sow into their own community is so important.
Right.
And I've been very fortunate to have my name, on the national stage. I'm a speaker on the national level, and I've been given some awards on the national level, and it became apparent that there was a gap in my own repertoire. And so I intentionally have started sowing down roots here in the real estate community, and I think running for the HAR board is very important. HAR is fantastic. They've been fantastic to me. I really believe in their vision of how they're moving the online component, HAR.com, forward with the statewide access, and I just want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of something great, and I want to help promote their vision.
And, for all those listening who don't know what HAR stands for, by the way.
I did say Houston Association of Realtors.
Okay, gotcha. Houston Association of Realtors. Let me tell you, I can tell you from an individual within the real estate community, but who is not a realtor, it's absolutely one of the most tremendous websites and resources that anyone can go to, whether you're an individual looking at buying a home and just need to have a good resource to go to, you're an agent and you're trying to obviously find your client the best deal, or somebody like me in the mortgage business who just wants to go out there and get some information in regards to taxes to set up their GFE correctly.
Yeah, and let me throw
You know-
Zillow and Trulia under the bus right now.
Yes.
Often they talk about Zillow, and they said, well, there's 60-some-odd thousand listings on there. There's only 40-something thousand listings on HAR.com. Why is that? Well, that's because a lot of those have expired and it's sold, and they're some of them are not even. Yeah, they're
Three
way
years
behind.
as Pam was saying, yes.
And we update every 15 minutes.
Chris is now, after a couple years of working together here, is thoroughly trained and says realtor every time.
Yes.
But now, thanks to Rob,
Fantastic.
I about have an aneurysm when I run into a realtor who says realtor.
Yes. Well,
I'm like, you are one, and you're not even saying it right.
well, like I say, Trendmaker is not a Trendmaker is not a billiter, and we're not realtors. It's realtors. Just two syllables. Don't overthink it. It's
I
pretty
have
simple.
Don't
been, I have
overthink it.
been trained over the years very well. And
I just
Rob
could
has been
never
my
afford
mentor
that
in
third
regards to that.
syllable. So
Anyway, and you made reference to awards. I think Inman put you as one of the top 100 most influential people in the industry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did last year. That was extremely flattering and humbling. I saw it pop up in my Twitter feed, a couple of congratulations, and kept hitting refresh in case there was a duplicate Sarah Jones out there. But as it turns out, it was actually, for me, and I was very honored, and it's very exciting. So
Brad Inman's a really interesting guy to know too. I've had dinner with him, he and Bob Hale, when I was chairman of HAR, and very innovative guy. He actually goes outside the industry to find speakers and brings in a whole different perspective for us to look at, because we are typically, as realtors, behind the curve,
Right.
especially on technology. We don't seem to embrace it a lot, and we got I'm used to doing it this way. I sell homes. I don't want to learn new stuff. I want to do it but slowly and surely we're dragging everyone into the 21st century, and of course we have people who are millennials who it's second nature to them, that you were never probably at a time that you didn't have some sort of computer in your house.
that is correct. And at Bamboo, we're a 100% paperless office. We have been
Awesome.
since day one. We write offers on iPads in 6 minutes using fantastic technology and electronic signatures and text messaging, Facebook messaging. We're very, very forward thinking.
And it actually makes you more efficient too. And there's
Absolutely.
that team in Austin also that was doing pretty much that same type of thing, technology.
That's the Good Life team in
the
Austin.
Good Life team, exactly. And you can't go paperless, and it actually makes it easier on everybody. You don't have to carry a lot of stuff around. And if, in this market, it's what I call a hyper market.
Right.
If you need to write an offer right now, we're not going back to the office
Right.
to
Let's do it
fill
right
it
here in
out,
the
print it
car in
out. We
front
can
of
do
the
it
home.
right here, right now. And by the time we leave here, we're going to have it transmitted to the listing agent before we leave this car.
And you know,
I went
what-
paperless years before technology allowed me to.
Really? You know, one of the things I tell everybody also
Think
about,
that
about
one through.
knowing with technology is the following and maybe Sarah, you can expand on this a little bit, is even though technology is very prevalent and it's something that we all do, it doesn't take away the tried and true mechanisms of doing business, right?
It's a tool.
It's a tool
To
that you
help
have in
you.
your toolbox. It's not doesn't replace still the human effort.
And you know,
that gets
there was a big
forward.
fear of that when eRealty came out. And they were out of Austin, and people had fear that they were going to technology was going to displace realtors. Realtors
Right.
play an essential role in every transaction, and if someone hadn't gotten the value proposition across to the consumers, shame on us.
Right.
We're not. It's just a tool that makes it easier and more efficient, and you can actually move more quickly.
I would absolutely agree.
And I think of real estate technology as a calculator. A calculator is only effective if you understand the math behind it. And there's
Right.
no sense in training somebody how to use a calculator when you could be teaching math. And the same is true with real estate fundamentals. You want to teach them how to from A to Z before you teach them the technology, and the technology just makes them more efficient.
I would absolutely agree there.
Ashley just showed us 1 minute to the break.
1 minute
1
to the
minute.
break.
So, you know, while we're thinking about it, how do we get a hold of you?
You
want to look
can-
at your card here? Remember
Yes,
your phone
I have
number?
my business card here just in case. The best way to reach me actually is probably by email. It's Sarah with an H at bambooagents.com. Sarah at bambooagents.com. That's the best way to reach me.
And what is your website?
Bless you. Our website is also at bambooagents.com. We have a leasing website also for our rental division. It's bambooleasing.com.
Bambooleasing.com. You know, I definitely want to get into that a little bit more when we get back right now, because one of the things we don't talk a lot about is about how big that market still is right now. I mean, a lot of individuals coming in, a lot of individuals are not necessarily looking at buying. And I want to talk a little bit about that market, what's happened in regards to rental rates, in regards to leasing rates, in regards to where you see that going forward. But as usual, our producer's looking at me saying, Chris, you got to hurry up and go to a break.
Yeah, we got.
I was reading Shut Up.
Shut
but I
Up.
could have been wrong.
So, you know, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let my feet do things that they should do. You know what? You're lovely. You know what? You're so lovely. And oh, what you do to me. I'm like an ocean wave that's bumped on the shore. I feel so absolutely